Welcome back to the today's class. Today we are going to see about binary counters. Okay. So a group of flip-flops connected together forms a register. Okay. A register is used for storing and shifting data which is in the form of ones and zeros. A counter is a register capable of counting clock pulses. So, in a simple way, you may see if you need to count from 1 to 10, you know what is the decimal numbers from 1 to 10. Then you may see the count value is 5, then it shows you the number of occurrences is 5. There are two types of counters. Okay. Basically there are synchronous counter and asynchronous counter. In synchronous counter, common clock pulse is connected to all the flip-flops. In asynchronous counter, first flip-flop is clocked by the clock pulse and other successive flip-flops are clocked by Q or Q bar signal. So this is the basic difference between the synchronous and asynchronous counter. Counters have a wide range of application in digital and electronic circuits, and these are being used to count the occurrence of a signal event. So if you need to know how much amount of time or how much quantity of the signal is being present, or how much the square pulse is generated, how much the positive edge of the square pulse is generated, then at that time you can use a binary counter. First we will be see about synchronous up counter. In synchronous up counter, the clock pulse is common to all the flip-flops in the counter unit. The clock trigger all the flip-flops at the same time. And similarly, the clock signal is connected parallel to both the flip-flops. So, to design a synchronous up counter, you are going to use a JK flip-flop. Okay, you already know how a JK flip-flops work. Okay, so this is the JK flip-flop 1 and this is another one JK flip-flop. Okay, so in this stage you may see this is the clock pulse of the JK flip-flops A and this is the clock pulse of the JK flip-flop B. So both the clock pulse are being connected together and it is being provided with the clock pulse. Then in the next stage you may see the first flip-flop is connected, J and K terminal is connected together and it is being provided with a high signal. And the next stage, the output of the A flip-flop, that is the QA output, is being fed into the next stage input of the JB and KB. So this is the circuit diagram of the synchronous up counter. In this case you may see the single clock pulse is being fed into both the flip-flops A and B. So this is known as synchronous counter. QA input of the first flip-flop is used to drive the JB and KB input of the second flip-flop. So from the circuit diagram inference also you may see the QA output of the first flip-flops is going to drive the JB and KB inputs of the second flip-flop. Initially we assume that QA equal to QB equal to 0 when the 0th pulse of the clock is applied. So you may see in this is the waveform. Here you can see this is the clock pulse and here you are getting the 0th clock pulse. At this time we are assuming that the QA and the QB signal is 0. So QA is 0 and QB is also 0. So this is represented by the truth table over here. When this happens, this causes the flip-flop A to toggle because JA and KA is 1. How JA and KA is 1 here? You may see JA and KA is connected to the high pulse. So the high represents Boolean 1. So the 1 is present here. Where flip-flop B output remains 0. That is JB and KB equal to 0. So JB and KB signal gives you 0, whereas the JA and KA signal is provided with the high signal. In the next stage, after the first clock pulse, QA is equal to 1 and QB is equal to 0. This causes in the next stage of the clock pulse, you may see this is the next stage, that is the first stage of the clock pulse. At this position, you may see the first QA is going to get higher value, whereas the QB remains in the 0 state. So this is represented in the truth table. You can see the clock pulse. This is the first clock pulse, and the QA has been incremented, but QB is the same value of the previous state. So at the negative going edge of the second clock pulse, both flip-flop will toggle, and so JA equal to KA equal to KB equal to KB is equal to 1. So all the flip-flops having JA, KA, JB and KB, everything is going to be 1. So at this time the second occurrence will made. So at the second clock pulse, you may see QA becomes 0 and QB becomes 1. So in the second clock pulse, you can see the transition of QA from the high pulse to a low pulse, and the QB signal from the low pulse to the high pulse is being occurred. So this is represented back in the truth table. In the third stage of the clock pulse, the QA signal again gets higher, whereas the QB signal maintains its state. So this synchronous up counter is being designed with the help of a JK flip-flop, and this counter is able to provide you a 2-bit counting. Okay, so you can only count up to 2 bits, QA and QB. There are only 2 bits. If you need a 3-bit counter, you need to add another one JK flip-flop, name it as C flip-flop, and make the connection as it is in the same representation way. So this is for synchronous up counter. Similarly, you can see the same thing for synchronous down counter also. So here also the clock pulse is common, and the trigger of the clock pulse is the same for all the time, and the clock signals are connected in parallel. So this causes the clock pulse to be synchronous. So the word synchronous is represented from the parallel clock pulse. So the next one is the down counter. So the down counter, there will be some simple modification. Instead of taking the output from QA, you are going to take the output from QA bar and you are going to connect it to JB and KB. This simple change in the connection from QA to QA bar gives you a large change. It becomes a down counter. So the other things remains the same. The QA input of the first flip-flop is used to drive the JB and KB. So it is the QA bar input. Okay, QA bar input is we are going to use for the second stage of the flip-flop. Initially, we assume that QA equal to QB equal to 1 when the 0th pulse of the clock pulse is being applied. So in this stage, you can see this is the 0th edge of the clock pulse, and both the QA and QB is made to be 1. This causes the state to be changed, and at the negative going edge of the first clock pulse, both the flip-flops will toggle, and so JA equal to KA equal to JB equal to KB equal to 1. So all these things become 1 because you may know JA and KA is already 1 over here because of high signal, and from the previous output QA and QB is 1, so that the JB and KB is again made to high by the flip-flop output QA bar. In the first clock pulse stage, you may see the QA is 0 and QB is 1. So here in the diagram you can see QB becomes 0, QA becomes 0 and QB become 1 in the first clock pulse stage. Similarly, in the next clock pulse stage, the toggle happens because of JA equal to KA equal to 1, where the flip-flop B outputs remains JB equal to KB equal to 0. Since you know that the flip-flop JA and KA are connected to the high value, whereas the JB and KB value are connected to the QA of the first flip-flop, these two values remain 0, because you see QA value is 0, so this value remains 0, but JA and KA is high. So in the second pulse of the clock, you can understand the transition on the both states. Okay, so this bit QA bit is going to get high, whereas the QB bit is going to get to a lower level. So this transition occurs when the second clock pulse arrives. Similarly, when you are having the third clock pulse, you may see all the outputs, that is the QA and QB values, all become 0. So in this truth table you can see a minor difference. The clock pulse is in this row is being arranged in the reverse order. So you put the 0th value here, first value here, second value here, and third value here, so that the truth table will be resemble the same. Next, we are going to see about the asynchronous up counter. So in the previous cases we have seen about the synchronous counter. In this case, the name itself meaning it is asynchronous. So there is no synchronization between the two flip-flops. Asynchronous stands for controlling operation timing by sending a pulse only when previous operation is complete. In case of synchronous mechanism, if the process is complete or it is incomplete, the clock pulse is going to be driven each and every time. So this causes the flip-flop to run as its own. But in case of asynchronous mechanism, the clock pulse is present only for the first flip-flop. The other flip-flops are going to be driven by the other flip-flop. So the controlling and the operation timing of the flip-flop is controlled, and if the work is completed, you can apply the next clock pulse. If the work is not completed, you can wait till the work is completed and then you can apply the next clock pulse. As the count depends on the clock signal, in asynchronous counter, changing state bits are provided as clock signals to the flip-flop. So the changing state bits represent the change of the value present in the QA and QA bar signals. This change in state bits represents the clock signal. Those flip-flops are serially connected together and the clock pulses ripples through the counter. Due to the ripple clock pulse nature, these are known as ripple counter. So this is the logical circuit diagram of the asynchronous up counter. So here you can see both JA, KA, JB and KB signals are connected to the high position. So the high value, that is the boolean 1, is connected to JA, KA, JB and KB. And here in the A flip-flop only you are going to apply the clock pulse. In the B flip-flop is going to be driven by the QA signal of the first flip-flop. This QA output of the first flip-flop is being used to drive the second flip-flop clock signal. So once the work is completed, you can apply the second clock pulse. If the work is not completed, you may stop giving the clock pulse. So this is the controlling operation timing, and it can be used to synchronize the slow devices which are present in the circuitry. The clock input of the second stage flip-flop is triggered by the QA output of the first stage. This is the second stage flip-flop and this is the first stage flip-flop. The QA output from the first stage is used to trigger the clock of the second stage. And these are the timing diagram of the asynchronous up counter. And you may see the same clock diagram is present, but the time duration of the clock pulse can be varied as per the requirement. And similarly, the next topic we are going to see is the asynchronous down counter. In asynchronous down counter, we are going to start decrementing from the highest available states. The 2-bit asynchronous ripple down counter is connected using the JK flip-flop, and here you can see the difference between the up counter and the down counter is the QA bar signal is being used as a clock for the B flip-flop, and JA, KA, JB and KB of the flip-flops are connected in parallel to the high signal. The clock signal is connected only to the clock input of the first flip-flop. So the clock signal is given only to the first flip-flop, whereas the second flip-flop is going to be work with the QA bar signal driving the clock. Okay, the clock input of the remaining flip-flop is triggered by the QA bar output. So in this case also you may see the JA, KA, JB and KB values are represented to be 1. And this is the timing diagram, and you may see this is the applied clock pulse, and you can see the count is in decremented way. Here this represents decimal 3, and this represents decimal 2, and this represents decimal 1, and this represents decimal 0. So the counting is decremented. So today we have seen about the binary counters and the two types of counters, synchronous and asynchronous counters, and we have also discussed about the timing diagram and the logical connection and explanation and how the flip-flop is being used as a counter. Thank you.